Welcome to the Sci-Fi Sistas podcast, where we give you our point of view. I'm Tamia Harper, and I'm here joined by my sisters. I'm going to go in order that I see you on my screen. Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hey.
J.D. Keeling.
Hello.
Fran T.
Stop.
And Subrina Wood.
Whoop, whoop.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We are proud members of the Trek Geek podcast, and we are delighted to bring you another discussion today on The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3, Power Broker. And our wonderful, wonderful sister JD is continuing her duties as our guide through the Marvel Universe, specifically the MCU. But before we get to that discussion, I want to give a huge shout out to our favorite sponsors in the whole wide world, Science Division, makers of the world's first and only app-enabled Tribble. So I'm chilling at home with my Tribble all day. I've been off of work, and my Tribble has been on my couch keeping me company. Because we can have pets in my really expensive apartment building. Like, they're super expensive to have pets. I'm not saying my apartment building is really expensive, and I'm rich. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's really expensive to have pets in this building, and therefore I'm not going to have a pet. But in lieu of my pet, I've got a Tribble.
There's no Tribble rent.
There's no Tribble rent, right? Exactly. They can't make me pay a Tribble deposit, and it's so wonderful, and it keeps me company, and it purrs and stuff. Subrina, do you have your Tribble on all the time, or what?
My Tribble is guarding my TV set. Yes, my Tribble is guarding my equipment here, and is ready to kill all Klingons that come by. Yeah. Tribble attack.
I know, right? My Tribble is just happily purring away most of the time. There's the on-duty mode, so where it's actively seeking Klingon infiltrators. And then there's the watchdog mode, which is what Sabrina's Tribble is in. And that's where it guards your precious possessions like your bat lifts, or in Sabrina's case, your TV. So they're really wonderful for all sorts of things. They're a lot of fun. They make great presents. And if you want to, you can adopt your Tribble today at Science Division, and that's sciencediv.com. And that's Science Division by fans for fans. Trouble's never been this fun. All right, y'all. So we're about to get this party started on this great discussion. I hope it's going to be a good discussion. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good discussion on episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Power Broker. And JD, you ready to take it away?
Sure. All right, folks. Well, as usual, I'm going to give you this moment to figure out, have you watched episode 3? Do you remember episode 3? Frankly, I'm watching episode 3 right now as I record this. Subtitles are amazing.
Me too. I'm doing it also. Don't give away our professional secrets. Don't give them away.
I wasn't expecting anyone else to be as unprepared as I am. Either way,
I've
folks.
seen it. I'm just watching it again.
Part of the spontaneity of the Sci-Fi Sisters. No, I am completely ready to talk about episode 3. I've seen it. I got my notes. I got shit to say.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay, Sabrina's that person. But if you aren't like Subrina and didn't come prepared, take a moment, pause the podcast, go watch the episode, and then come back. Are you back? Great. Well, as a warning, this episode will likely include a lot of swearing on my part. I really just hate Zemo. It's like Fiats. He's like the Fiat of people. I also hate Fiats. So, getting to the episode, let's start from the beginning, where we come in hot on Power Broker with our favorite American in a foreign country failing to know how to speak the language. What be doing with John at this point?
I know.
See, it's not Zemo that JD hates. It's John.
I think it's John.
John.
But can we back up and just go to the GRC commercial that they had? I mean, was that not the funniest thing?
What
it was so perfect.
That?
It was so perfect.
That was exactly the kind of American propaganda commercial I would expect to see on my TV.
I thought, I thought that it was so perfect how they did that. They had they opened up with the propaganda, like, look how we're helping you, and everybody's all smiles and it's all Habitat for Humanity and whatnot. And then next thing you know, bam! But this is the reality. And this is what we're sending our troops to do, basically, is what they're saying. This is how we, quote unquote, help nations. You know? We
have a no-knock warrant and we're coming in.
You don't need a no-knock warrant if you don't have authority in the country.
Wow.
I like amazing. The way they used soldiers as propaganda in that one. You saw the soldiers sitting in there, once again, used as pawns. Mm-hmm. But I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, John is a willing participant with his little, do you know who I am? Like, dude, you just broke into someone's house. I don't think he cares.
Okay, the do you know who I am line was just so rich, wasn't it? Do you know who I am? Oh, that hit all kinds of buttons on me.
Yeah.
I know I'm not alone.
Nope.
Oh no, it was the one. It was definitely like a dog whistle line.
Which is like what I think like all of us were thinking when we see this I call him the Captain Pro Tem, you know, like he's the pseudo fake, like temporary Captain America, right? Mm-hmm. And so Captain Pro Tem, when we first saw him, I was just like, ooh, all this ego and all this crazy stuff. And then of course it comes out in that one statement, do you know who I am? So insecure, you know, just way out of his league. Perhaps not the face of peacekeeping, quote unquote, peacekeeping missions that you really want.
And we have a peacekeeper right here. Would you say that is he was off the mark there, Yvette?
Oh, totally.
Were you cringing when you watched him?
He makes me cringe. A lot of this makes me cringe, but he makes me cringe, but I do understand him, I guess. He's trying to be something he's not, and someone has told him you are this, so he has to really live up to what people want him to be. And then I think he came into it saying, I don't think I'm cut out for this. Mm-hmm. But then someone told him he was, so he had to live up to it. And just like with anybody else that gets power, you kind of get caught up in it, you know. And I see both sides with him. And just to know that he was a soldier who got three
Medal of Honors.
3 Medal of Honors. Do you know what that means? That's not a good thing to have 3. There's nothing good that happened to you that you got 3 Medal of Honors. I mean, you had to go through some hellified shit.
And that's what he said.
3 of them.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. I mean, they do make him say cringeworthy things, but I don't know. I don't know. I cringe, but then I just feel for that guy sometimes because, gosh, the things he just went through a lot, and I think he's just old. I think they just put him in a no-win situation, and now he has to really deal with it, and he's not cut out to deal with it. I don't think anybody is. Who was cut out to be Captain America or Captain America? You know, it's just, you know, it's a lot. So I cringe, but there's a lot more to him, and there's just
I think you're right. I think he's a character that is really easy to flip him off and just say you hate John Walker.
Right.
But that whole thing that you mentioned, that he got those 3 Medal of Honors, but he said he got them in one day.
One day.
That was the day that he never wanted to remember. He said, those medals just make me remember the worst day of my life. That was the line that got me. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh man. And was Lemar with him on that day? Yes. It sounded like he was.
Right there. It sounded like he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So these 2 guys definitely have paid their dues. And he does have this whole layer of self-doubt, this John Walker. Now, I'm not defending the man or anything, but I think he definitely has a lot more layers than just he's an asshole, let's just flip him off. But you're seeing why he is such an asshole. But,
and don't forget the fact that he's a white male. So that kind of that goes in there also. So with all those layers, being a white male is also because of the way he talks. He got that white male talk to him. Well, I say, that look down. They try to be calm to everybody, but they still have that "I'm better than you" type of attitude.
His tone was completely patronizing to almost everybody that he dealt with.
Everyone.
To everyone. I mean, it wasn't like a...
Because he was talking to another white man.
But, one of the things that they're doing so well in this particular show is the quote-unquote bad guys, the bad characters. There's no black and white with, everybody is very gray. And they're showing these people in these as the complicated human beings that they are, and I really admire that, and especially with this, we can get into with the Flag Smashers and Karli and stuff, she's got her motivations. She's motivated by love, even if she's doing it in a really retarded way. But
we're going to get to that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. I'm getting ahead of it. But I do think that that's one of the things that they did really well with John, is to show that all those layers of him, and not to necessarily make him sympathetic, but you can see him. I mean, sympathetic in a sense, you can see his human frailties. And yes, you can see very clearly that he was not ready for this role.
Mm. And what gets me too is also the last thing about John is that there's something about him because Lemar is so devoted to him. And you know that there's got to be, like, brother man, what do you see in this guy that you're willing to go down?
It was his battle buddy. That's his battle buddy.
He's going with him. He's telling him, yeah, you can do it. So, Lemar is like I think he's a very interesting cat. What is his Battlestar? Like, okay, whatever. Battlestar. I love it.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about, their dynamic is very interesting to me.
Yeah, and because I get the last word because I'm the one hosting.
Hey.
I just want to say, I find Lemar, from the moment I saw him, to be the least trustworthy black man to ever exist. I did not trust him. I do not trust him. Would not trust that black man. Now, on to prison. In the next scene, we get to Bucky and Sam going to visit their favorite little prisoner, Zemo, Helmut Zemo. And you have Sam like, oh, I can go in, I can go talk to him. And Bucky's all like, no, I have to do this because if you've seen Civil War, you know they have history because Zemo's the one who came out with the code words to activate the Winter Soldier. Yeah, and then, Bucky has his moment. And then after that, what we get is Bucky trying to explain, should something happen where maybe if Zemo happened to have some assistance in getting out of the prison, maybe we would want to be in this room just to see what would happen.
It's like come home from school and you're telling your mother, well, Mom, like in case somebody broke your TV, like what would you really do if...
Right.
Like,
see, what had happened was...
Yes.
What had happened, Fran?
I love Sam. I love Sam's line. What
Sam was on it. What did you do?
Like, I love how when he was in the cell with Zemo and right out the gate, Zemo's like, let me test him. Let me see, and he starts throwing those trigger words at him. And he was just so blasé. He's like, those don't work anymore, like it's not going to work. But he was totally trying to play mind games with him the whole time, the whole time. I
if you were in a cell all by yourself and all of a sudden the Winter Soldier came up to you, you would try to see if you could still control this MO because,
especially if you're the one responsible for his predicament, a lot of his predicament. Yeah.
Is he coming here to kill me? Can I turn him off? Do these words still work? Oh, hell no, they don't. Oh my God. Then you'd like.
I love Daniel Bruhl's portrayal of Zemo.
Me too.
I mean, he really makes me, I can't stop watching him when he's on the screen.
Because you just know he has another agenda. But that's the man you don't trust.
Exactly, because you can see the wheels spinning the whole time. He's having one conversation, but you can just look in his eyes and he's like, that in his head, he's having 3 or 4 other conversations going on.
He's 3 steps ahead of him.
Well, it's like how we get set up with, he's reading Machiavelli. Mm-hmm. Dude didn't come here to play.
Right.
He said he was reading it. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he opens it and unfolds it, and we realize that his bookmarker is a key. A pass key.
Yeah, okay, my head scratcher. All right, I'm the sci-fi sister that didn't understand. How did he get the key? Did he have the key?
Did Bucky give it to him?
Did Bucky give it to him? I mean, I don't know what happened there.
I don't think Bucky. Okay, so my take on it, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. My take on it is that Zemo pretty much had this plan ready to go.
Yeah,
he had it in action. Like, he was already working on this plan. He'd been in there for a long time. He's been working on these other inmates, and we know that. I mean, if you read the comics, he's filthy rich. Mm-hmm. And then so I think that was his plan, and he just decided to do his plan a little bit earlier.
Bucky was just the catalyst. He's like, okay, now.
That's my take on it. What about you, JD?
I would not put anything past Zemo, knowing his character from the comic books, because even in the comic books, he's exactly like he is in the movies. He's just the worst.
He's the worst. What? You went out a little bit.
He's just the worst. That's it. That was the statement.
That was it. Yeah.
I just really hate Zemo. He's not a good man. There's nothing good about him or to him. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't. He's not as. They make him a little lovable in the television program, but in the comics he has no redeeming qualities at all.
Mm-hmm.
See,
he's trying to make this like a Three Musketeers, and Sam and Bucky are like, no, you don't get to talk.
Right.
And I will say, seeing how we mentioned he's a Baron, I did love them dropping that where it's just all like, oh yes. Where his little Baron Zemo and Sam and Bucky are like, what the fuck? Our enemies are rich?
That was weird to me.
Dude has a private jet.
That was weird that they didn't know that to me. I don't know. That just struck me as weird that they didn't know that he was rich. Loaded. Like, he had to have some means to be as nefarious as he has been at the,
They didn't know it was his own money. I am a Baron. And I just loved, come on, just for 1 minute, I did love costume design, because when he came out looking all Hugo bossed up, with the fur collar, me, I love a well-dressed man. He came walking out to the private jet. I was like, "Oh, the Baron is back."
That coat was all right. I like that coat.
Yeah, the coat was on point.
Yes, it was.
Man, and he was wearing it. He was like, Daniel Bruhl must have said, "What do I get to wear in this one? Oh my God, I get this! Yay!" So 2 points for that. 2 points for the Hugo Boss.
And with regards to our plane scene, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I very much Bucky. I like 1940s music. I'm sure y'all have heard the Trouble Man album, perhaps.
You mean,
Perhaps.
perhaps a Marvin Gaye album that's only a classic? Yeah, maybe
Classic,
perhaps.
yeah,
Once
perhaps.
or twice.
I
Maybe.
appreciated the throwback.
With that.
What?
I appreciated the throwback to Trouble Man. I mean, that
Me
was
too.
a throwback to the former movie.
Yeah,
And when he said that, I fell over because I will never forget that scene in the earlier Avenger movie where he tells him when he first meets Steve, you know, you got to watch Trouble Man, and you know, Steve Rogers writes it down in that little notebook.
That little notebook.
I forgot.
Brilliant.
I didn't realize until later, like researching for this episode, and then I was like, oh yeah, that Sam mentions Trouble Man in every MCU thing that he's in. He's always talking about it.
Come on now.
You know, so I was like, oh, but then did you realize that this episode actually first aired on April 2nd, which was Marvin Gaye's birthday?
Oh, I like that.
Because that was the original Mr. T, Trouble Man, Robert Hooks, 1972. I'm just going to tell you, starring Paula Kelly with Paul Winfield. Yes, we're going to have a Star Trek shout out there. Trouble Man. If you have not seen it, cue it up. That is the movie.
And the soundtrack is on point.
Yes, the soundtrack is everything.
Yeah.
Trouble
Yeah,
Man.
like
Also-
I said, I like 1940s music. So,
Did you say 40s?
yeah.
Bucky.
Oh,
Bucky.
come on. Boogie Woogie
Okay.
Bugle Boy is a bop, all right? I will die on this hill.
I love that song.
It's a good song. Ain't nothing wrong with that song.
I like the swing music from that era. I really do.
It's good music.
It's cool.
It
And
is.
you'd be hanging with
It's
Bucky.
cool.
I could. But
Can I hang with Bucky?
I got dibs.
I brought up the moment
I'm older.
because while they fight over Bucky,
Sorry.
I brought up the moment because Zemo, he brings up the point that Sam really idolized Steve, and that putting people on a pedestal is how you get people like Hitler and Red Skull. You get these icons who go mad with power because so many people just live to adore them. And in a sense, even though Steve Rogers wasn't that man, you do see it going back to the start of the episode with John. He expects like that power, that respect with that whole, do you know who I am? So what do we think about Zemo and, you know, his idea that why are we doing this? Like, because it really brings into question kind of a lot of what the characters have been going through. Bucky is very much we need Captain America. We need someone responsible with Captain America. Sam, he is team, we don't need an icon. Icons are a bygone era. We are so far beyond this. And Zemo's just causing trouble on a plane.
Well, I think it's kind of it's like two different arguments there, though. You know, I mean, there's two different questions that we're looking at. You know, you're looking at the super person, right? The enhanced person, the more than human person, which is Zemo's issue often, and then you're looking at what icon status and the responsibilities and things that come with iconography, right? So, I mean, when I think about that, I think about Zemo. The more interesting question to me is Zemo's perspective on these super people, and you know whether or not we should make more or not, or the fact that he believes that it's sort of like a absolute power corrupting absolutely. Like he believes that there's only one way this will turn out, right? That there's only that Steve Rogers was a fluke and nobody else is going to be as good as Steve Rogers. And therefore we don't deserve that level of power. You know,
no one else would be able to withstand that kind of temptation.
Right. Everybody else would succumb to that temptation because we're just mere mortals, you know, and I don't know how much I agree with that. You know, I see his point. And I think if we look back through human history, he's probably got the edge on that point. I just don't know if I believe in the totality of it,
Well, I'll take back what I just said to you about the temptation of it. I think it's more what they were saying, that being that superhuman makes you more of what you already were.
Well, what's his face said that?
Yeah.
Lemar said that. That's not
that.
necessarily Zemo's point of view, but that is somebody's point of view.
That's his point of view. And that's sort of like, it's not so much that, if you are, and so say Steve Rogers, like is that one guy that was truly, good all the way through, he was super enhanced to be even better. But remember what Captain Kirk said about this. Superpower means super ambition. Because you have a super. It means super ambition. They are just going to want more, and they're going to want. So they've enhanced all the way around, even in what they desire and what they think they should have. And you can't separate one from the other. And I think that's Zemo's thing. Not so much that the power is tempting them, it's that once you enhance somebody, you enhance everything about them. What they think about themselves, their ego is enhanced, everything is going to blow up.
And again, that's something that I don't necessarily agree with either. How do we know? We don't know exactly what's being enhanced. Super strength, that's an enhancement. But, if I'm a greedy person already, are we going to enhance my greed necessarily because I have super strength? Or is my greed level going to stay the exact same? If I'm a nice person, does my kindness get enhanced because I have super strength? Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think that they're parallels.
We don't know.
I don't think that they're parallels at all. So
they were enhancing. Was it just?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, really, were you enhancing character? Were you enhancing musculature? What are you doing?
I think, and I think Lamar's argument is really interesting. I think, but the way I would say it is that if I had an enhancement, it would give me an opportunity to become more of what I am. I have a choice. I have a choice on how to use these tools, right? The enhancement itself is not inherently evil. And that's where I disagree with Zemo.
Zemo saying it's evil and they're going to break the vials.
But I also disagree with Lemar. The enhancement itself is not inherently going to make me more of what I am. It might give me an opportunity to grow into one or the other thing. But I don't necessarily, if we speaking in generalities like that, I don't know if the enhancement itself is going to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's the opportunity, what you do with the opportunity. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will say, in Zemo's defense, I guess, he, I know, right? What he was saying, I didn't actually take it to be related to the super soldiers, because we know his feelings. He doesn't even feel Steve Rogers was perfect, because when he met him, he told him, "Oh, you have green eyes. You're not perfect." Because if he was truly perfect, his eyes would be a perfect blue, obviously.
That is so Zemo.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But with Zemo, because he also mentioned, Hitler, who, again, was a man put on this pedestal, and he was just a man. And he, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Zemo and those comments, because... yeah, history says Zemo's right. You can't put people on pedestals ever. That is bad stuff. Steve Rogers shouldn't even exist. That didn't
just went through 4 years of that.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not. And back to the point of it not just being super soldiers. When we first meet Zemo in Civil War, he doesn't just hate super soldiers. He hates superheroes. They came in and they let his town go to hell because of something Tony Stark made.
Yeah.
So, he just hates everybody at this point. You're all trash. Which, to be fair, Ultron did lead to the death of his wife and kids. So, I can't hate on that opinion.
It's that.
There's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that was one of the things that I did like, that they brought that along, in Falcon and Winter Soldier from the movies. With this character, you still saw that he was aching about what had happened to his country and his world, even when he I don't know which episode that is. I'm not going to say it. No, we were Power Broker. So, Zemo is really having a hard time with this whole, what's happened. So, is he? I mean, so you don't want to have icons or people. So then you fall to what? Policy, and then here's this policy of okay, they're going to change the blip. I mean, is Zemo right? What he's saying? I mean, were these people right? Were the Flag Smashers right that everything was better the way it was? I wish they had done a little more to tell us, where the Flag Smashers were coming from.
The shield it's a loaded symbol, and but the icon of the person carrying the shield, I believe that idea should be looked at. I don't think it should be dispensed with altogether. I think he was saying like, I don't want to do it.
But then he was upset when someone else did it.
Right. And because I think it was because it was a set of assumptions that he was working under.
Right.
He was working under the assumption that the next person to pick up the shield would respect it and know what it meant.
I don't think he didn't want anybody to have it.
Right.
He put it in a museum.
Well, that's true. That's true. He didn't want
anyone. If he wasn't going to do it, he felt like if he wasn't going to do it, no one should do it.
The next person who picked up the shield would be, and you're right. And Sam was working under the assumption that the U.S. government was going to leave it be.
Sam knows nothing about the U.S. government.
Right. I'm just going to give it to the museum. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but let's talk about someone who does understand governments. Karli. When we see Karli, she is in Latvia and she is visiting her dying mother figure. Like, this is the first time. Okay, granted, we've only seen like a few seconds of Karli, but we've gone from her kicking Bucky's ass to weeping over this woman who took her in when she literally had nothing. And how did you feel about like this sudden, I guess, backstory and depth to Karli's character?
I thought it was a little thin. I mean, I get what everybody's saying. Okay, the blip happens and people were doing things and everything was great. And then all of a sudden everybody comes back and now everybody has to go back to their square one. But we never knew what she was doing. And quite frankly, as much as losing a mother figure is, I mean, are you going to like take a super serum and go around blowing up the world because your mom died? You got to give me more than that.
I agree with you. Like, I mean, the whole purpose of the Flag Smashers, I had to watch it. I had to watch this series a couple of times before I really understood what they were talking about at first. It's like, I don't feel like they gave the treatment enough. I don't feel like they spent enough time with them to let me know, like, it was just sort of like, oh, okay, everybody came back from the blip, and then these people rose up in reaction to it because their homes got taken. And I'm like, wait, what?
What?
This is a massive movement that apparently now is going on a global scale, right? And so I need to see how this happened. Show me what the Flag Smashers went through in order to make them a flag smasher.
Right. What did they lose? I mean, what were they doing?
That was the comic bookishness of this episode that I didn't like. They're taking the time to, I mean, granted, they only had 6 episodes to work with, but they're taking the time to go so in depth in some other things that I really felt like it deserved a little bit more weight so that I could take this villain more seriously.
Yeah, where did she come from? How did she get the vial?
I know she's modeled after a villain from the comic books, and that was a man at that time, but I don't know that backstory either, so perhaps our 2 Marvel people can help with that. But I also felt like them trying to add that emotional depth. I see what you're talking about, Subrina, that I would have liked a little bit more to that.
Yeah.
I understood the story that they were trying to tell me, and I understood what they were doing, by showing us that, she cares about this woman, she cares about these people, but I just needed a little bit more. It needed to be a little bit more 3D.
Yeah, I didn't care about them at all.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were just a means to an end. It was the way to tell the story of Bucky and Sam. I really didn't care about the Flag Smashers or whatever they were. They were just, part of the storyline and basically trying to figure out what's going on with my heroes. That was it.
Yeah,
I did not care about them at all.
It felt like villain of the week type of thing. Like just plug in the variable villain of the week. And that's like the one aspect of storytelling that I thought could really be enhanced, because the issues that they were dealing with are really are real and serious.
They deserved a whole episode. The issue that they were dealing with deserved
immigration. They're talking about immigration, and they're talking about xenophobia, and they're talking about a lot of deep stuff with them. And it was just sort of service treatment.
Right. And they put a lot on them and didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, with regards to, in the comics, his name is Flag Smasher, but they took a character and that had little depth. He's in a handful of Deadpool comics, was first introduced and killed off in 2015. So that's like at best a good 12-issue run. And he wasn't even a Captain America character. His enemy was Deadpool. So if it feels weak, it's because they did not add depth to it. Now on to something that never needs depth. Our favorite South Asian country, principality. It's really hard to remember what Madripoor, but Madripoor. As a comic book fan, I will say I was super excited because Madripoor is that's if you love X-Men or really anything Marvel, Madripoor. This is our weird, evil, chaotic, criminal underworld country.
It's Free Cloud. This is Free Cloud.
This is Free Cloud.
We predate Free Cloud. Thank you very much. 1985.
We're the sci-fi sisters, and we love our Star Trek. And I'm gonna get some Star Trek in this thing.
You already did that. That's why I said Yvette. She did it. Yeah. She did it. We couldn't get through an episode with no Trek. Can we just have an episode that? Okay, never mind.
I'm gonna drop it in there.
Anyways, we're in Madripoor, and we have Bucky. Actually, it's right by Singapore. It's southwest of Singapore. But we have Bucky, we have Zemo, we have Zemo's terrible plan of, we're going to put Sam in disguise as the Smiling Tiger, who is a Marvel comic book character. He had claws on his hands and feet. 1992 was a weird time.
Was he African in the comics too? Was he African in the comics?
I don't even know. He it's a costume, so.
Well, because he in the show here, he's supposed to be some African dude, from just vaguely African. We don't even know what country, right?
No,
just African. Okay, because it's all the same.
I mean,
I guess.
Yeah. So we're in Madripoor. We have Zemo really just kind of enjoying himself. A night on the town, nice little club. Bucky in the world's worst choreo scene, because when it comes to choreography for fight scenes, I expect better from Marvel. You can't have something like Daredevil and then come at me with this. This was a letdown.
Wait, what was the letdown about it for you?
The whole fight choreography scene.
The whole fight choreography scene. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't a good fight. But it did bring up some things.
I liked it. But my Bucky was doing all right.
What was wrong with the fight?
It was in close quarters. I mean, it was good. I liked it.
Daredevil. Anyways.
Well, let me back up, because one of the things that I liked about this whole thing about the scene, the car ride going into the area when the motorcycles pulled up against the side of him and everything. Did anyone seen the movie Akira?
Yes.
Come on. Did you not think of Akira when you saw that scene? I was like, shout out to Akira. Here they go. They're going to do it. Here we are. It just looks so much like that whole entry. So I just wanted to say that because I know some people in the group really love that movie, and for a second I was thinking that they're gonna do a Kara. Here we go.
See,
I loved it.
I was gonna bring up the fact that I feel like that fight scene, no matter how poorly done it was, kind of proved Isaiah Bradley right. Like, Bucky seemed to slip into that Winter Soldier mode like a nice warm teddy. Like that fit him like a glove.
Hey,
he was pretty cozy with it.
He's been doing this for 90 years.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't think it'll ever go away, but I mean, it wasn't controlling him. He was controlling it.
Yeah,
you know,
but
he didn't fall into it where he was out of control and somebody was controlling him, you know.
But he can fake it well enough that, I mean, he's been doing it for so long. It's such a part. It's like, you know, there are aspects of myself that are old ways of me being, right? Mm-hmm. But I can go back into them and fall into it really, really easily and pretty quick. I can put that on if I need to.
There was no faking, because if he didn't take these people out, they were going to kill him.
I'm not saying he was fake fighting.
No, right. I'm saying like, you need to be Winter Soldier right now, my man.
Yeah, all the way through.
Right.
No, but here's the thing. Literally, in the previous episode, you have him telling Isaiah Bradley, "Oh, I'm a different man. I'm not that person anymore." And then you have Zemo come in and pretty much prove you can be that person.
But that's different than saying he is that person. Yeah. That's still not the same thing. You know, I'm not that person anymore is a very different statement than I can be that person, or I have within me the makings of that person. I mean, it doesn't go away.
No.
His training doesn't go away.
Right.
You know, his abilities don't go away because he chooses to not use them, you know, in the same ways that he used them before.
You can't say those words to me and turn it on.
Right. Like, he's not controllable, but he can still kill, but so can all of them. He can still put the fear of God into you, but so can all of them. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's unfair that people, because like, you're not the first person that I've heard to say it. I mean, I've seen some critique about it, and I think it's unfair to think that he wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, if he wasn't able to do that, then we've got issues.
Yeah, but here's the thing, because I'm coming into this as a comic book fan who does know Bucky, and it's not something he simply ever lets go of. Like, this is a struggle, and we see it with his therapist. Like, when he's telling her, "Oh yeah, no, I'm so much better. I managed to talk out my problems with this one person," and you see, like, no, that's not what you did. You kind of blended the idea of talking and exactly who Hydra made you into be.
So you're saying he still has a long way to go.
This is not something. Well, of course he did for 90 years. It's not gonna stop in 10 months. You know, if anything, it's gonna take years for him, if he wants to totally have this out of his system. I mean, how do you not be that person after 90 years of being a certain
right?
I don't get the fact that why is that? I mean, I think he's made a great run at it. You're talking about somebody who's killed, is very remorseful about it, and now is trying to make amends. And the way to save himself and help everyone else, he has to slip into this just a little bit. So he has the control to go ahead and do it, make sure everybody's safe, and then slip back out. That's a lot. That's somebody who has more control than you're giving them credit for.
And Sam asked him, "Are you okay?" He knew what it cost him. He knew what it cost him.
But here's the thing: he doesn't answer Sam. He exhaled and he
because
walked
he's
away.
not okay. How can he be okay?
Yeah, he shrugged it off.
Again, that goes back to the issue. Like, you guys are saying, "Oh, he can slip in, he can slip out. It's fine."
No. I didn't say it was easy. No one said it was easy. I was a soldier. I'm not a soldier anymore. If I had to be a soldier again, I'm sure I could do it. Not that I would want to, but I could do it. And then I have to come back and be the person I'm supposed to be now. And these are different, you know, these things are not easy, but there are things you can do. It's possible. And it's good to have that person say, are you okay? So he has Sam. Thank God he has Sam. Because I think if he didn't have that person to say, are you okay? I'm here for you. It could go another way. But when you always have that guy or that girl or whoever who's saying, everything's okay. Are you okay? If you need anything, let me know. That makes the world of difference. Believe me, I know.
So JD, let me ask you a question. Are you saying because she just said something key there, thank God he had Sam to say, are you okay? Because it could have gone another way. Are you looking at that point like, yes, like it really could have gone another way? And how close we were to having it go another way? Or what? I'm asking.
In a sense, because what you're saying, a lot of it hinges on Sam. And a part of Bucky's story is getting past the point where he needs someone. Because look at what he says. He says, he is defining himself by what Steve thought of him. He needs Sam to check in with him. Mm-hmm. Like, he himself seems to realize, like, there is a very tenuous grasp on what Bucky is. Mm-hmm. So it's less about...
I get that, yeah.
It's less about him slipping into the Winter Soldier, I suppose, and more about him maintaining Bucky. Because with Zemo around, he's real quick to lose all sense of Bucky. Like, those code words may not work, but Zemo still does.
Yeah, Zemo's still around. That's a point.
I think they're all valid points. I think it's a good question.
Oh, yeah. I think it's all valid, but I just wanted to make sure, we got all of it, because I do see that in Bucky. I think but when you talked about Zemo is around, I mean, that's pretty strong, because Zemo he could be a catalyst just by being there. And like she said, she feels he slipped into it pretty quick. And I didn't think of it that way, where Zemo is he's always the trigger, even without the words.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Zemo was already messing with his head, when he went to visit him in prison. He started then, and he hasn't stopped. Yep. That's. But I have a question. What about Sam's suit, y'all?
The American pimp look.
He's a fashion-forward American, a fashion-forward black man.
He was a fashion forward.
Oh,
I was loving it.
Like that suit.
Come on.
That suit I really liked.
Oh,
I really liked it too.
I liked it a lot.
I can't run in these heels.
That was funny.
Oh my God.
Heels.
That was funny. But I could just I automatically had a picture of exactly what shoes that dude was wearing at that time. Especially, I know them loafers, and you ain't got no socks on either.
Oh my goodness.
I thought the suit was awesome. I thought it was awesome, but he's right. Like, I could not see I see very few American men rocking that suit. They're not secure in their masculinity enough to rock that
Chadwick could have done it. The real Chadwick Boseman could have done it.
Chadwick would have.
Yeah.
Yep.
He would have worn that suit.
It probably was his suit.
Yeah. He would have wore that suit.
Yes, he would have.
So we get the fight scene. We get Selby dying randomly, mysteriously.
Okay.
Who knows who shot Selby?
We're in Selby's office?
Yes, we are.
We're in
Okay, I need to talk about Selby's office.
All right.
What the hell? Why is there a phone ringing? Who doesn't know, like, clandestine operations 101? Who wrote this mess? I know we know who wrote this mess. I hated that moment. It was so stupid to me. I know it served a purpose to get us to where they needed to be, but it was just dumb. They've been doing this long enough. Nobody's got their phone not on vibrate or on silent. Nobody.
I mean, to be fair, Sam is also a man who, he rolls with superheroes. They don't believe in phones on vibrate. Tony Stark had his phone built into his suit so he could take calls.
Yeah, but nobody else was hearing it ring.
It would have have been more believable if it had been Bucky, the one that wasn't used to a phone. But who would have been calling him?
He got a flip phone.
Yeah, nobody would have been calling Bucky, so it wouldn't have been him.
He got nobody on his contact list.
Even if he did, and she said, well, Sam, and she's like, Sam, who's Sam? Like, he totally could have played that off like, this bitch don't know who I am. I don't let my side piece know who I am. Like, this is like,
I have in my notes here, it says, Sam is not an undercover brother.
No. Sam is a man who will not cheat on you. He will not forsake you. He don't even know the meaning of a side piece.
He don't know.
Right.
Sam don't know. He is not undercover brother.
Sam is a good one.
I felt one when he had to drink the snake stuff when he did it.
Oh God.
Yeah, but that scene was a little wild. But okay, so we go through from Shelby's office. Where are you taking us next, JD?
We're taking us to the hero of the day, Sharon Carter, coming in, saving the guys, and then kind of laying into them with the whole hero thing is a joke with Sam and his little, oh, well, we're here to save the day. And she's like, dude, I tried that once and look where I am. Do not talk to me. Why can't Sam talk to women? This is the second woman to tell him, like, dude, you don't know diddly? Shut up.
Sam's not doing too well. Well, Sharon Carter. She's interesting. And why does she have a rack of men's clothes in her apartment? I just want to know.
Why? I mean, just because you're an international art dealer, quote unquote, and you're selling, you're a black market art dealer. Why do you have a whole closet of men? Do you constantly have men coming over that you just randomly need to dress their asses?
To change.
Like,
I mean, okay,
she's
I will say.
And then
she doesn't like. She's like, "Come on home with me, baby. I'm gonna fix you up. Mama's gonna fix you up." She opens up the closet like whoosh.
Yeah,
like, go, baby. This is what Mama wants you to see. That's what Mama wants to see you in tonight.
I didn't get that at all. I was like,
all different sizes.
I mean,
like a whole wardrobe.
Look, she has to be ready to sell everything. I'm sure that was very nice. The designer stuff. Not that knockoff stuff you get in, like,
sure,
off the corner in certain places in New York. I'm just saying.
It was.
Maybe when people come to her party.
I know where to shop in New York, Yvette.
Obviously you don't if you're on the corner.
I mean, no, it's not like the best. Usually those idiots but still.
Okay, but for real, Sharon, though. Okay, so full confession, I had completely forgotten who she was, right? I had no idea who this white woman was coming. I was like, who is this badass woman? And I'd say, so bring James, who is Sharon? He was like, okay, baby, let me break this down to you. And then I remembered, so I loved how badass she was, though. I loved her kicking ass. I just like to watch women kicking ass. I mean,
it's like a high caliber ass
enjoy it
kicker
every time.
Well, she's, that's my favorite
Peggy
non-superhero. That's Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
I love Agent Carter. I love that show. I love everything about that. Just who she was, and for them to bring back Sharon was great because, Sharon's the reason why there is a Sam and Bucky show,
right?
Because I don't remember where I think Subrina told me,
it's in one of the clips.
One of the clips, right? The kissing scene was the reason why they put them together afterwards.
Yeah, let's not talk about that time Steve Rogers made a move on his niece.
Yeah, yeah. It got real creepy after a while. I was like, wait, what? No, that's not good.
It
was a mercy kiss.
But I mean, I did have. I mean, she totally left me with questions, right? I had questions even before we saw the end of the episode. I had questions about her. Like I thought her appearance to save them was just a little too well timed, and then of course we skipped over there's so much action that you forget to ask, where did the bullet come from in Selby's office? Like, like who shot Selby? Like they didn't shoot Selby. Selby got shot. So somebody knew that they were in that office with her.
Probably the pawnbroker people.
So, you know, I think Sharon is she's really interesting.
Hey, I like the vibe of her party.
Like that on this episode.
Party was happening. Even
Zemo
got into
Zemo liked it. Zemo liked that party.
Zemo was doing it.
He had a little dance going.
But yeah, no, Sharon is our answer to everything. She's got connections. She's got art. She's got men's clothes. She knows where Nagel is.
Right,
and
Nagel.
She brings us to Nagel.
Nagel.
And I will say, because this is so important, Nagel is another one of those nice little comic book Easter eggs, because in the comic book, he is the super soldier. I mean, he is the scientist who continues with the super soldier program that created Isaiah Brett.
It's true.
Even in the comic books, Nagel is not a good man.
It's Truth, Red, White, and Black, where Isaiah
could not remember the colors.
Got you, baby.
So you're saying that Nagel created Isaiah Bradley back in...
Yes, Nagel continued Professor Abraham Erskine's experiments on and tried to recreate his formula, his super soldier formula.
Okay. Yeah, they just kind of, the age is off in this one.
Yeah, he
made him younger.
That's not following the comic.
Right. Okay.
None of it is. Yeah.
So, like in the comics, he's the one responsible for killing hundreds of black soldiers.
Meanwhile, in the movies, he's just responsible for probably killing people. Fun times?
Yeah, they sort of downplayed his role a little bit in the show.
Yeah, but they brought him in, and I appreciate that. I like that they, you know, if they're not going to follow the comics, and they're not, but they give you enough of it for people that really love the Marvel comics that you know, kind of like, oh, all right, that's cool. Even though they're going to do their own thing, which I appreciate too, because you have to go back and read the comics because they're different, and you want to see the TV series because you don't know what's going to happen. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. You get money from either way.
Yeah, I mean, they kept him pretty true to character. Well, they kept him pretty true to character because of the fact that he does still create the super soldiers. He, as we learn, is responsible for Karli and her crew.
Okay, I'm going to say, here's my other thing, and I'm going to admit here that even though I am the one of us that loved Marvel since she was a little kid, I didn't know what was the deal with the mask for Zemo. I didn't get why he put that mask on at the end. What did the mask
was one of the... No. That's an actual Easter egg, because in the comic books, if you even like Google real quick, like Baron Zemo, I advise everyone go Google Baron Zemo. You will see he wears a pretty much iconic to the character. So for them to have Zemo just kind of come in, shoot a man, put on his purple mask, it was the greatest moment. Like they truly gave us Baron Zemo.
Okay, well, see, that's what I'm talking about. They were giving it to somebody. I missed it. It went over my head, but I said, I know this mask means something. Good with that Hugo Boss jacket. Okay. Whatever. I'm like, the Baron is just going off. He's got the champagne going. If anything is spoiled, give it to them. He's got his manservant.
Smell it.
He's got the mask, the car. My boy is just like, you know, what's wrong? Everything's good. I love Zemo.
Okay, JD, where are we going next?
Zemo is a hot mess, but
I like him.
Not as hot of a mess as Karli, because it seems while we started off with her just wanting to do reconnaissance to maybe get force some help, we end with her committing murder, and we start to see Karli losing her way. Like, it was one thing, even her followers seem to think it was one thing when they were just creating violence and chaos, because that's all people in power understand. But now Karli's pushing it to that next level where it's all like, nah, this is war.
Yeah, she just had like an extra gear. I mean, that blowing up the truck was just not even her own people were just like, what are you doing?
Right.
So here we go again with the whole little discussion that we had about super strength and super his character. So what was that all about? Like, what got augmented there? I'm gonna use a Star Trek word.
Power. Power.
Well, with Karli, I mean, her whole thing is she does not like this world. She liked it better the way it was. And she wants to return it to that. And I guess in this episode, she came to that decision where it's all like, especially after losing her mother figure, she's just all like, no, they've cost me the one thing that matters most to me. I'm going to cost them everything.
Yeah, she's getting on my nerves. I'll tell you that.
Now she's become an extremist.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Instead of a freedom fighter. She's become an extremist now because now she's killing people, innocent people, and she's saying no one's innocent. And that's a red flag right there.
Well, and the thing is, the whole thing that she's fighting for, what the Flag Smashers are fighting for, is something that, what is the guy's name? He's that physicist, and he talks about, you have a zero world where you're territorial, and then you can go to a planetary world, which is like a type 1 civilization. And they're talking about going to a type 1 civilization where there are no borders and everybody's one world. What do they say? One world, one people? Is that their model? And, you can get behind that, because that's sort of like, I understand what they're fighting for. And that's why you and I, Tamia, were sort of like, I really wish you had developed that, because I would have loved to have really understood what these kids really seem to be, all kids, are trying to do, because they are trying to change the world and make it like, no, we need to all get together, forget the borders, forget the countries, forget everybody, fighting each other. We need to, feed everybody and give everybody medicine. But they kind of, she just kind of loses that and just goes rogue on them. And, it's really, I didn't get the mother dying is the trigger. I don't know. It just didn't.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm not satisfied with that point. It just seemed like not a clear enough arc to get from point A to point B, right? Like one day we're over here, giving out medicines and stuff, but they didn't show us what the Global Repatriation Council was doing, or how they were not responding. Like, she's trying to say to the GRC, like, hey, these are the things we need. We need housing. We need medicine. We need shelters.
Well, I guess her mother died because she didn't get medicine. Okay.
Right. We don't need to be forcefully like removed. We don't need refugee camps. We need to be living in places where we can thrive, where we can work, where we have an opportunity to have a living, right? But then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, and now I'm going to bomb you because you're not listening. It was too, it didn't make sense. It was too extreme. Like, it didn't show it. A lot of fundamentalist terrorist people have an arc where they grow from one, where the radicalization happens as a process, right?
Yeah,
and then
right.
And then X, Y, or Z thing will happen to help push their thinking towards this really radical moment where they believe that taking innocent lives is the answer, is the only language. Like she said, this is the only language that they're going to understand, right? To where a person believes that. So I would have liked to have seen that. It was just literally like, okay, we're getting a supply run here. And guess what? I blew up the hospital. And she knew she was doing wrong because she didn't even tell her own people.
Right, she didn't tell them. And then another thing they kind of threw away was in, I think, the first episode, the second episode, when the guy that was very dear to her gave himself up so that they could get away on the plane, and he died. And then it was just sort of like, is that her boyfriend? Was that somebody? Because she seemed
he was getting in the way of the power brokers people. It wasn't even the government, wasn't even the GRC that was coming. I mean, they were late. They were coming. The GRC was following the power brokers people, they were running from the power brokers people at that point.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, they did kind of like that guy dying was just kind of like a toss off too, I mean, that was another one of the things that I think snapped her, that he was dead now and now her mother was dead, but it all didn't really gel with me
I don't think she
that
cared
she
at all.
suddenly became a, she's like a over the top radical, and she's just killing everybody.
I felt like she was. I felt like she was the child that she was.
I wasn't scared. I'm like, how was she even?
It all felt like a child's temper tantrum after about, like,
That's
just
all
a
it
very,
felt like,
like a child, a very powerful child, but a child's temper tantrum. I'm not getting my way. I'm not going to listen to anybody. I'm going to kick and scream and blow some shit up and break some stuff down.
Didn't they
because
steal
the super serum makes you
they
more
stole the serum from.
Yeah.
They stole it from the power broker, which, like, hi, where's that story? Like, like. I mean, why is that? Like, we just get jumped. We just get it dropped. Like, oh, hey, these people that stole this from the power broker. How did they even do that? Right? I know.
Speaking of unexplained things, we are at the end of the episode. We have the boys in Latvia. We have Karli, who has just committed murder. Everyone's trying to figure out, how is Mama Donya connected to this Karli girl? Oh, and then Io shows up because you can't trust a white boy to do anything right.
Oh, yes. You're correct. I had to think. I'm like, oh, yes, this is true.
Yeah, Io's like, okay.
Sorry to all my white boys out there. I'm sure you're good people.
I screamed when she showed up.
She said, James.
Yes.
No more
not
white
even
wolf. James.
Not even White Wolf. James.
Right. Not even White Wolf. She did, you're in trouble. She didn't have to do his full name. She just had to, like, drop the honorific. You were not White Wolf at this moment.
That's right.
We are very displeased with you.
I was so excited to see them. I was so excited. I was just
me
like,
too.
oh
I screamed too, Subrina. I was sitting in my apartment. I was like,
when he picked up that bead, I was like, oh, yes.
The Dora Milaje. There goes my girls. You're like my inner warrior inside. When I grow up, I want to be you guys.
She was just laying outside of Zemo's apartment. She's, I'm just going to sit here so this guy shows up. I know he's coming.
I loved it.
She's here. Fran's here, y'all.
Fran.
When they showed up at the end, I was like, oh, Wakanda. The warrior
looking stunning, by the way.
Yes.
Shout out
she
to
walked
costume
away
design.
from him. Oh,
the
way she strutted away from him. I was like, that's the scene right there.
Yep.
Listen, I like the African suit. I loved her leather dress. I love Zemo's coat. We got to go back and get something on the costume designers here because I was all over this whole thing.
It was definitely looking fly.
Yeah, and then of course we had the Sharon at that last part with Sharon, and she's like, we got trouble, and I was like, see, I knew something was wrong with her. Like, who is this chick that she's talking to, right? Yeah.
You had too much connection and money and everything else. 5 years, you got all that stuff going on. I've been in DC 14 and my stuff isn't that great yet.
You know what I'm saying?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well,
yeah, I need some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff going on here.
Well, on that note, we're going to have to wait till next time to figure out what's going on when we review The World is Watching.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man, this has been really fun. JD, awesome job again. Thank you.
Yay.
Sci-Fi Sister, 3 snaps in a circle.
If you haven't seen Trouble Man yet, go see Trouble Man.
I guess I'll watch Trouble Man.
Do it.
Yep.
I didn't even know it was a movie. I thought it was just an album.
Oh my sweet baby Jesus. Okay.
Okay, so if you listeners haven't seen Trouble Man, please go do it and drop us a note and let us know what you think of the movie. And also drop us a note and let us know what you think about this whole debate with Zemo and everybody, with all these philosophical debates. And drop us a note and let us know what you think about us and how we're doing on this show and with things that we're not doing. Oh, so sweet.
Yeah.
So how can they drop us a note, Yvette?
Oh, you can find us at sci-fisistas.com. That's SYFYSISTAS.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the the Sci-Fi Sisters Book Club, both on Facebook. On Instagram, we are sci-fi.sisters, and we are also on Twitter at Sci-Fi Sisters.
Tweet. And we're also proud members, as I've said, of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. So you can go to trekgeeks.com and look us up, and as well as all the wonderful shows that we have on the network, including our the main show, the Trek Geeks Network, Trek Geeks Podcast, which is awesome. And that's it for tonight. Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
We got to talk about Dose, the Anonymous. Dose. The best engineer in the world is Dose, the Anonymous one. Yes. He's responsible for all the music that you hear on our podcast, and as well as doing a fabulous job at fixing all the crap that we can't fix ourselves. He's an amazing engineer.
Oh, the outtakes.
Thank you, Dose. I know. Thanks, Dose, for everything that you do. If you have need of engineering services or music services, you can find him at dosetheanonymous1@gmail.com. That's DOSTHEANONYMOUS, the number 1@gmail.com. And that is it for us, babies. We are out of here. Until next week. Peace, love, and hair grease, y'all.
Bye, y'all.